Sasha Martinengo.
Storming down the pit lane.
Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time. On balls.co.za. Who the is?
Who the is? Wow, we've been inundated with lovely people today. First of all, we had Melville Priest. Now we've got Andrea Bate, who comes from Cape Town.
I do.
Yes, born and bred.
Absolutely.
Okay, and you're a racing driver.
I am.
Okay. Well, let's start at the beginning. Where did you go to school?
Primary school, I went to a Waldorf school, Michael Waldorf.
Oh, the Waldorf.
Yep, special school, that one.
Yes.
And then for high school, I was homeschooled. I spent a lot of time playing sports, so...
Okay, so sports always been in your blood?
Absolutely.
Okay. Then how did motor racing get in your blood?
Must have been from my dad. He raced bikes when he was younger, but he quit racing completely by the time I was a year old.
Okay.
So I never got to see him compete or anything like that. Bought me my first motorbike when I was about 7, and the speed bug bits, and from
what
then
a cool
onwards,
dad.
I know, pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
And from then on, all I wanted to do was race, which I didn't manage to do.
Okay.
Because apparently racing's not what little girls do. So I had to
Listen,
race.
you're 7 years old with a motorbike. You know what I mean? You don't put on your ballet tutu there on your motorcycle.
No, then it's, all you want to do is just go faster. It's pretty simple.
Okay. So did you race bikes?
No, I didn't.
No.
Much too dangerous, apparently.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Okay,
allegedly.
so you sat there, you had this motorbike at 7, you decide, okay, well, this is fun to ride around the garden, etc., or blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah.
on holiday around the farm, that sort of thing.
There we go, okay. And then, how did you get into racing cars?
Much later, actually. It didn't matter how much I whined and begged and pleaded. I was never allowed to do the bikes. I was never allowed karting or anything like that. And then I turned 18 and I kind of revisited the issue.
Okay.
I'd done a tactical retreat when I was younger, and I kind of let the issue lie.
A tactical retreat.
Tactical retreat, yeah. You've got to
See,
get
what
more reserves.
Motor racing people are very clever. You can use big words. Okay, tactical retreat.
Tactical retreat came back when I was...
Reverse psychology.
Absolutely, all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Came back when I was 18. And I actually went to a friend of my dad's and I said to him, if I get a racing car, will you teach me how to drive it? And he thought about it for a while and he said, yeah, actually I will. Much to my horror, he marched straight over to my dad, who was at the other side of the room, and said, Dick, I've told Andrea when she gets her car, I'll help her. And my dad went, sorry, what do you mean? There was a little bit of a tense conversation after that.
I can't even... So what did you eventually buy?
We bought a City Golf.
Okay.
Yeah, we bought a road car, which my dad told my mom was for the company, for a courtesy vehicle.
I like your dad more and more.
I know, it was awesome. Then he took her out to coffee because we took delivery of the car and stripped it the exact same day.
Oh, nice.
And he said to her, by the way, that car that you did the transfer for this afternoon, it's going to be a race car for Andrea.
Unbelievable. And this
Yeah,
is
it
what,
was-
sort of, you're 18, 19 years old?
Yeah, but it took us 6 months to build it.
Okay.
So first time I went around a racetrack behind the steering wheel, I was 19.
So, I mean, that's starting pretty late.
It's starting very, very late.
Very, very late.
Very late,
And
yeah.
and you enter into local regional racing.
Yeah, I was obviously based in Cape Town.
Yes.
I raced in a series called the GTI Challenge.
Okay.
My dad said to me initially, you've got 2 years, because in our family there's, you do it once, you do it right type of mentality, which
Yeah.
is awesome. He said, you've got 2 years. If you do nothing in 2 years, then we sell the car, we pack it up, thanks for coming, move on to something else. And as you can see, it's now 4 years later, and I'm still at it.
There we go. So dad's got faith.
He does, yes.
And clearly you've got talent.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah. Okay. So, before we talk about more racing, you were included in the FIA's Institute of Achievement. What is it?
Young Driver Excellence
Young
Academy.
Driver Excellence Academy.
It's a mouthful.
Okay. How did that come about?
It's quite a lengthy process to get in. What they
Yeah.
do is that they open up applications worldwide for drivers between 18 and 23
All
with a
right.
limited amount of experience and good results and a bunch of other criteria as well.
Yes.
And what happens is that you fill in an application form which you get off their website and you send it to your ASN, and the ASN is the governing body for motorsport of a country. So
Okay.
here in South Africa we've got MSA.
Yeah.
So I then filled in this application form, I sent it to MSA. The institute has got rules that every country can then, out of all the drivers that apply, they can put 2 names forward.
All right.
So in South Africa, it was actually 2 Cape Town people, a rally driver, Ashley Haig Smith, and myself. we got through to have our names sent to the institute. Once they get to the institute, they received just over 100 applications last year, because that's when the application process was.
Yeah.
First thing they do, they send it through a computer system, and then if you get kicked out of that, then you're out already. Then what they do is they sit down in front of the committee, which includes people like Alex Wirtz and Robert Reed.
Okay.
And then there were 2 members of the FIA Institute, and they went through the applications one by one, and they chose, out of those drivers, out of those applications, they chose 30.
All right.
They contacted us and said, you've been chosen as the last 30. You are summoned to Austria.
Summoned. I like
Summoned.
that's the FIA.
Absolutely, that's them for you. Summoned to Austria. So I packed my bags, ran off to Austria, my first time overseas ever.
Okay.
It was really, really cool. Rocked up there, and they put us through our paces for a full week. So we got there, it started on the Monday afternoon. Monday,
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We did things like actual driving, we did fitness tests. We had to prepare and deliver a presentation to the board, which included Robert Reed and Alex Wirtz, James Wozencroft, who's a British rally driver,
All right.
and a guy from the Institute as well.
That's very exciting.
It was very daunting. They were observing us for our personalities, for the way we interacted with people, for obviously the driving, and the fitness was the biggest thing they wanted. But they were looking for people who would be the overall package. And after the most grueling week I've ever had in my life,
Yeah.
because they watch you. You walk out of your hotel room in the morning and they're watching you. So where you sit at breakfast, what you eat from the buffet, whether you're half awake or half asleep, or what attitude, it feels like they're observing that. And they only stop when you walk into your hotel room that night and close the door. So a full 4.5 days of that was quite taxing. But we did like mental processing skills, we did psychological profiling tests. They went really in depth with us. And then, they chose 18 drivers out of those 30 to join the academy for the year, and I'm very honored and proud to be one of them.
That's incredible. Congratulations. I mean,
Thank you
that's
so much.
really, really terrific. What is now the objective for you now? You part one of a team. What do you actually do?
It depends workshop by workshop. The first
Okay.
workshop we didn't do any driving. We went to Scotland. We did a lot on fitness, nutrition, and hydration.
All right.
The second workshop we went to France, and we worked a lot on team building, working with a team, understanding different personalities, problem solving, planning, that sort of thing. It was really, really tough. It was really good though. It taught you really how to work with a team, because in racing it's different to in football. In football, for example, if one person makes a mistake, the whole team will lose. Whereas in racing, if one of your team members makes a mistake, you're the poor driver that gets stuck with a bad result at the end of the day. So it's really important to try and hold everyone together and
Yeah.
make sure the environment's good.
Incredible. What is the objective at the end of your year? I mean, what are they training you to be? Are they training you to become part of the FIA, or are they sitting and saying, okay, we've now taught you how to eat, what to eat, when to eat. We think you got a good brain. Now we're going to put you in a race car and let's see how good you are.
There aren't any promises of anything like that.
Okay.
Basically, what they want to do is that they want to try and stop some of the talent that's coming through in the world of learning by the School of Hard Knocks. It was Rubens Barrichello who said the first year, if there'd been a program like this when I was starting out, it would have saved me so many years of trouble and heartache. So to have someone
Okay.
with that amount of experience who wishes he could have done a course like mine is just phenomenal. They're basically they're trying to teach us how to learn things in a safe environment. There's a lot of safety that goes into it. The FIA Institute is very involved in safety.
Sure.
So we're learning a whole bunch of safety stuff. We're road safety ambassadors as part of it. We're going to get an FIA certificate at the end
Stunning.
of it to be road safety instructors. So it's very geared around safety and basically, competing at the top.
Well, I think a lot of people don't realize the amount of pressure that is on a racing driver, whether you racing internationally or even locally, as you know. So this course definitely, I assume, helps you sit there and, as you say, problem solve.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when it comes to international racing in Europe, it's just the planning that goes into a trip, so that when you get there you're actually properly hydrated, you've got energy levels after I mean, I'm traveling backwards and forwards, and on average I'm about 20 to 24 hours worth of travel time, and sometimes that's on top of waking up at 5 a.m. and going to gym and doing a full day and leaving in the evening. So it's really important to be able to plan ahead, that when you get to a location you're good to go.
Wow, that is incredible. So when does your year finish?
They haven't given us the last date. I got an
Okay.
email yesterday to say that the next workshop is the 3rd of September, which I'm really looking forward to. It's going to be in Mauritius.
Oh, how tough.
I know. I was a bit surprised at that one. I was expecting the States or Austria, but I guess Mauritius it is.
Yeah, well, I was just trying to think. I don't think there's a racing circuit in Mauritius.
No, but again,
Maybe you
that's,
do some speedboats or something, you know.
if one power boats, I could do those.
Oh, there we go, something like that.
Oh yeah, I could live with that.
Oh, that is incredible. I mean, that's really, really something very, very special to be part of as well. From the FIA, we come back to you as racing. Okay, so let's go back a bit. You had your first City Golf. You raced in the Formula GTI Challenge.
Yep.
How did you do?
The very first year I raced in the entry-level class, it was Class C. I managed to score a win in the first year, which was awesome.
Brilliant.
I finished up 2nd in class and 5th overall out of about 60 to 70 drivers,
That's incredible
which
stuff.
was mind-blowing.
Yeah, more than you had expected.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We expected to kind of finish.
And you said
first year.
you said you had this friend of your father. Did he teach you more about the driving, or eventually once you're on the track, I mean, listen, you just got to go with your own instinct?
No, you've definitely got to have a little bit of help along the way. I came from the point of I hadn't really driven a road car that much by then either. So common sense things that now I look back on and I can't believe I didn't know them. But just different things about turning, about getting on the power, about braking. Just little pointers here and there. Racing lines, because you don't just wake up one morning and know what the best line is around a corner.
Sure.
You've got to learn how to see it. So he still works with me today, if possible.
Great.
Which is pretty cool to have the same person stay with me that long. Yeah, we work on different things now, not obviously the basics.
Okay. Now you say so you finished there, okay,
Yep.
and then where did you progress to?
We looked at the calendar for the Johannesburg-based series Goldwagen Challenge,
Yeah.
which runs nationally. So they run at all the different circuits. And I said to my dad, it's all good and well being really quick at Killarney, but whoop-de-doo. So can I go and do one of these national races? So he said, yeah, you can do that. That's fine. So I packed up, and myself and an uncle, because my dad couldn't travel with me,
Okay.
and drove up to East London, where I arrived. Never seen the circuit, never seen a video of the circuit, no nothing. I got there and I kind of went, whoa, okay.
Quite hairy.
This is something else. Battled the whole weekend, finished stone last, drove all the way back to Cape Town, got to work on Monday morning, and my dad said, it was really tough, I understand everything, we'll do the next GTI Challenge race and carry on. And I said, no ways, if this is national racing, I want to do this series this year if I can. So he said, he was a bit surprised. He thought I'd be a bit despondent, but I'd seen the level in driving that was so different, and I wanted to improve and be quick like the guys that were quick at East London. So we decided to move basically immediately to Goldwagen Challenge,
Terrific.
where the first year, I think the highest I finished was 4th. No,
Yeah.
I lie. I got 1 3rd place finish at the very last race of the year.
But that's quite incredible. I mean, if you consider it, you went from last and eventually got onto a podium.
Yeah.
So I mean, in a year of driving, and I mean that's an incredibly competitive series.
Yeah, very, very competitive. I raced in Class B, so I moved up power-wise and everything like that as well. But it was really great. It was my first year. I raced at a circuit like Kyalami. I absolutely loved it. I raced at Bekisa for the first time. I raced at Swakops for the first time. So we set it aside as a learning year. You've got to take a year to learn things before you can try and win them.
Sure.
So it was a phenomenal experience to, just arrive and you kind of head out. I think Kyalami I did the most preparation for. I watched onboard footage from Terry Moss when he drove the Audi. I played V8 Superstars on a PlayStation. I borrowed a friend of mine's PlayStation. I spent about a week on it.
Because it is quite a daunting circuit.
It is, yeah.
I mean, it's a really exciting circuit.
Exactly. And in our cars, they're like, no, it's turn 1's flat, and like the mine shaft's flat, and this is flat. And I'm like, okay, well,
Right.
if they say it's flat, it's got to be flat. But when you see it for the first time, you're like, seriously?
Yeah, I know. There's a lot to learn. It's
By the
amazing.
end of the weekend, it's easy. Though.
Yeah, when somebody says something and you going, well, I'm not entirely convinced by that.
Exactly.
Chatting to Andrea Bates, it's all about her career, where she is, and at the moment we found out that she was in the Goldwagen series. Stay with us right here on GEARZ, Balls Visual Radio. We'll chat more after this. Guest this afternoon, Andrea Bates. And you may well, especially in the Cape Town area, you would know her, and nationally, definitely getting around, which is a really good thing. Yeah. Andrea, so you finished with the national series, and then where have you progressed to, or where did you go from there?
Well, I did another year in it with the aim of finishing top 3. I was well on my way to achieving that when I skipped the final race of the year to go to the selection event for the FIA Institute.
All right.
Which meant I dropped down from 2nd overall to 3rd overall.
Okay.
So I still got top 3, which was awesome.
Which is what you wanted.
It's exactly what I wanted, yeah.
Okay.
And then at the end of last year, we decided to move up to the Engine Volkswagen Cup, otherwise known as Polo Cup.
Yes.
And that's what I've
terrific
been in
series.
this year.
Yeah.
It is action-packed every round.
But you say it's been a bit of a difficult year with so many different things.
Yeah, I mean, the first race of the year definitely didn't go according to plan. I arrived at Swartkorps Raceway for the first round. It was all set up to be pretty cool. I was really looking forward to driving the new car. And my race lasted exactly 4 corners.
Okay.
There was a monster pile-up. Unfortunately, I got caught up in it. And a total of 11 cars didn't finish. 7 were write-offs, and unfortunately mine was one of them.
Oh, wow.
So I came up from Cape Town all the way to Joburg, did 4 corners,
And that was it.
packed up and went home again.
The beauty of racing.
Absolutely.
The dedication of racing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, that's what a lot of people also don't understand. They say, oh, okay, we're ready, and the preparation that goes into it, and then all of a sudden, you know, you have a mechanical problem or unfortunately get involved in an accident, and there it's all over for the weekend.
Yeah, it's all over. I mean, we were driving back to Cape Town, so we had to push the car onto the trailer. It couldn't drive, or even, you know, we had to haul out body parts and everything like that just to get it off, because the next race was Cape Town. And we actually left on the Saturday afternoon quite early. Because I wasn't feeling so hunky-dory.
Yeah.
And we headed back to Cape Town with this completely smashed up car. That's not the best part of motor racing.
No, it's
but
heartbreaking.
it's all part of it.
It's very, very heartbreaking with something like that.
Yeah, they say all or
happens.
nothing, so I'll take it.
Yeah. So I mean, then basically you have to rebuild the car. Did you have to get a new chassis, a new frame, a brand new car?
We had to get a brand new car.
Wow.
The only thing we saved, I think, were 2 doors. That was it.
And those are usually the first thing that goes when it comes to Polo Cup cars.
Yeah, I mean, I T-boned a stationary car. I got hit from behind. I got hit from the side. I don't really know how all I got hit. But it was a phenomenal accident for everyone involved.
And you did you get injured through it?
Oh, you know, every so often you get whiplash and things like that, but no bruises or anything.
Okay.
You know, just a couple visits to the chiropractor and I was good to go again.
And then it's a rebuilding of a whole brand new car, and then
we got a shell a week and a half before the Cape Town race because Volkswagen had to supply 7 of them. And so obviously I had to wait until I could get one.
Yeah.
And then my dad and myself and 2 friends of ours, we rebuilt the car pretty much in a week. It was ready the Thursday afternoon before the Cape Town race.
Yeah, Friday a little bit of practice and Saturday qualifying
Friday was
and race.
ironing out all those little details that didn't quite go according to plan in the rebuild. And yes, Saturday was get on with it and do it.
So you were back, which was great.
I was back and on it, yeah.
Incredibly competitive series.
Oh yeah, it's by far the most competitive I think in South Africa at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, the top 15 guys, any of them could win on a weekend. The times are silly close. I mean, if you qualify 0.6 off pole, it's like Formula 1 now. You just disappear down the back of the grid. And you know, you could be out of the top 10, out of the top 20 even at one race.
Yeah. And they hold no prisoners, you guys, in the
not.
you know.
Absolutely not. I think the rule.
I don't even know why you guys, when you race, have side mirrors.
Yeah, I mean, they keep coming off,
Exactly.
don't they?
I mean, nobody uses them in any case.
In between races, they get bumped and pushed in and broken off and stuff.
If
like
I had to race in that series, I wouldn't have a side mirrors.
I just not bother putting them on.
No, just take them off.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
What's
Smooth
the
it out there or something.
Better
something
aerodynamics
like
anyway when they're not there.
Yeah. So Cape Town, you raced. How did it go there?
I think it was my first race in the car. I wanted a top 15 finish, and I finished 13th overall for the day, so I was pretty stoked with that.
Yeah, especially, I mean, limited track time as well, so...
Yeah, I'd done my practice at Zwartkops, and that was it.
Sure. Yeah, you practice in your four corners.
And my 4 corners. Well, it was actually 3.5, I guess.
Okay, now I want to take you back a little bit, because now we're talking about where you're currently racing, but you had the opportunity to race in the production cars.
Yeah, I was really, really lucky at the end of last year.
Yeah.
Team Ford Racing got hold of me just before the Cape Town race. Obviously, I'm a local driver, so when they were looking for a third driver, thank goodness my name came up. And they asked me if I would qualify the car, actually. They mentioned nothing about racing. And I said, well, can I practice on the Friday? They said, yeah, you can practice on Friday, but you're just going to qualify. I said, is there any chance of racing? And they went, yeah, well, we'll see. And the race weekend, it was a huge step up to get, because I got from a little city Golf into that Ford.
Yeah.
Turbo, alles diff, ABS, power steering, all that sort of stuff was different. I'd never driven with that.
An incredible step up.
It was huge. I can't remember the exact details, but I think it was almost 10 seconds a lap quicker, about 7 or 8 seconds a lap quicker than I would circulate in my city Golf.
Yeah, and that around Cape Town circuit is a lot of time.
That is a lot of time, yeah.
Yeah, and, basically the whole back straight in the last corner.
Exactly. When you look back at the times, it was quite mind-blowing. But to be honest, it didn't feel like such a big leap, because you get used to the speed quite quickly.
Yes.
Which was really cool.
And that was a tremendous, you had a good weekend.
Yeah, it was great. After the practice finished up on Friday afternoon, I wasn't at the tail end of the field, so Ford said to me, you know what, you've been pretty quick, so we're going to let you race tomorrow. I was obviously over the moon. I hadn't done a new tyre run, I hadn't done any sort of big setup changes, and I went out for qualifying, and much to my surprise and theirs as well, I qualified 4th on the grid, which
Incredible.
was something I definitely didn't expect. The lap didn't feel that quick, let's put it that way.
Sometimes those are the ones that work.
Sometimes those are the winners, yeah.
Yeah, and then a great experience for you. Is that where you're aiming to get to?
Not really.
Okay.
The only reason that I'm not really gunning for production cars at the moment is that internationally they're not properly recognized. For me, I am aiming to compete internationally, so when I go over with my resume, it's got to have things that they know what it is.
All right.
So because Polo Cup is run in so many different countries, they know what it is. So I tell them I race Polo Cup, and they're like, oh wow, because it's the same competitiveness and the same rules country by country.
Yeah.
So it was a great experience. At the time, I would have done anything to carry on. And then with the academy, with the FIA Institute Young Driver Excellence Academy and that sort of stuff, they also said, it's better to be in, because Polo Cup is technically a lower category, but they said because of the fact that it's known internationally, it's a better place to be. So I would very much like to do some more production car racing. I wouldn't put it off the plate.
Sure.
But I wouldn't give up Polo Cup just yet. If I could do both, that would be awesome.
Well, listen, that would be amazing. And they're running the same series as well. So
yeah, there are 1 or 2 drivers that have done both on a day. So it's possible.
Yeah. And you know all about fitness now and nutrition and all of those things.
Absolutely, yeah.
From the FIA.
I'm strong. I'm ready for it.
So now back to where you currently are, and of course that is the Polo Cup. You here in Johannesburg, because you're going to go and do a bit of a test also tomorrow and Saturday.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult to practice when my car lives in Johannesburg and I live in Cape Town.
Yeah.
So I haven't had my bum in that seat since May.
Sure.
So we're trying to get in some final testing. The rules starts, we're not allowed to practice at the next track from Saturday onwards. And I hitched a ride literally to Joburg. So I'm here and I'm looking forward to doing some driving.
All right, but so you didn't race in June?
No.
No, there was no.
There was no race in June, I don't think.
Yeah.
And then July was
That's
Durban.
That's right. Okay, July was Durban. Yes.
Missed, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So now
which
we're
was
on to August.
a bit of a crazy fest down in. So what's your objective now for the rest of the season? You as you say, 2.5 months, nearly 3 months. You haven't been in the car. You're going to have to really get onto it.
Yeah, it's going to be, that's why we're testing. We're doing we still haven't found a sweet spot with this car. It's quite a different monster to what the Golf was. We don't have experience in it, so we're just trying new things at the moment, trying to see what works, what doesn't. We're making progress now, which is awesome. So basically this year we set aside, I'm not aiming for anything to win the championship or anything like that. This is my learning year. So like I did in Goldwagen, spend 1 year learning the circuits and the different cars, just getting used to the setup, what changes, what effect the changes make, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then next year obviously I'm
Just go for
gonna
it.
be going for results. Yeah.
Yeah, incredible. In terms of sponsors and those kind of things, I mean, do you have some good backing behind you?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay.
Mostly privately
Simon
funded.
Simon will
Can he
sponsor
hook me
you.
up?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, Simon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
What do you need? How much?
Everything, all of it.
Okay, Simon.
Yeah.
There we go. There's
Chat
a little.
to me
Good.
at,
Lotto,
chat to me
yeah.
at 2.
Yeah.
Awesome, I'll stay.
We earn big bucks from 2 to 6. That's
Yeah.
where the real money is.
Oh, really?
Real,
Oh,
the
man,
real
I should've
cash.
come
Isn't
later.
it? Yeah. So basically, privately funded at the moment.
Privately funded, yeah. I've got a few sponsors. I've got Powerflow Exhausts. They're based in Cape Town.
Okay.
They're my main sponsor at the moment. Auto Prism does all the panel work I need, which at the moment is every race it goes back to them.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Get
in that
some-
series, we know that.
Yeah, you've got to get some new stuff.
Yeah.
Lee Signs does the stickering for me.
Okay.
Obviously, I use Ferodo brakes and Champion spark plugs and that sort of stuff. But
Yeah.
the big guys are Powerflow and Auto Prism.
All right. And listen, I mean, I know I've had quite a few people in the studio. It's quite tough to get out and get sponsorship nowadays.
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously I'm working on it all the time.
Sure.
And when you find a strategy that works, then it's supposed to get easier. I'm still trying to find that strategy that works.
Terrific. Andrea, it's great to have you here on Gears, and we wish you all of the success for the rest of this season. And of course, we'll be following you, and we must definitely get you on again, maybe at the end of the season, see how it all went out, and then sometime next
Absolutely.
year as well.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. There we go. Andrea Bate on Gears. Who the is now you know. She'll be racing in Pakisa in 2 weeks' time. She'll be testing this weekend, and then the 4th of August, of course, is West Bank Super Series at the Pakisa Raceway in Welkom. Go along and support.
Gears on bulls.co.za with Sasha Martinengo.
He's kept himself out of trouble.
Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time.